For a long time now, online age verification has basically been an honor system, right? Just a digital pinky swear. Well, that's all about to change. A massive, legally mandated shift is coming, and it's going to fundamentally alter how pretty much every online platform has to operate. And yep, there's a deadline. By 2026, that old honor system is getting thrown out the window, replaced by a new global standard, mandatory age verification. And let me be clear, this isn't a suggestion, it's the law. The days of just ticking a box that says, yep, I'm over 18, are well and truly over. So this brings up a huge question for, well, anyone running a platform, creating content, or managing an online community. Are you ready for this? Because ignoring it isn't an option, and the technology needed to get this right is actually pretty tricky. To really get why this is such a big deal, you gotta look at the legal landscape. We're not talking about one single law. Oh no. It's more like a tangled mess of new global regulations that platforms now have to somehow figure out. It's what we're calling the compliance maze. The real problem here is that there's no single rulebook for the whole world. Over in the UK, their Online Safety Act demands highly effective age checks. The EU has its Digital Services Act, or DSA, which does something similar. But then you look at the United States, and it's a total free-for-all, a true maze of different state laws, each with its own specific rules, often requiring a direct one-to-one match between an ID and a user. You can imagine, for any platform that operates globally, this is a massive head. So, how on earth do you navigate a maze where the rules change around every corner? Well, the market is scrambling to answer that, and unified solutions are starting to pop up. The whole idea is simple. Give platforms one single tool for total compliance, no matter where their users are. Let's look at one of these new solutions as an example. A platform called ProntoID. Their whole approach is to blend identity security with a bunch of practical safety tools. The goal? To make this incredibly complex legal requirement feel totally seamless on the back end. Of course, the second you hear identity verification, the alarm bells on privacy start ringing, right? That's why these systems have to be built from the ground up with privacy in mind, making sure they comply with big regulations like GDPR in Europe and CCPA in California. They often use something called a double-blind method. You can think of it like this. A trusted middleman looks at your ID, confirms your age, and then just tells the platform, yes, they're over 18 or no. The platform itself never even sees your sensitive personal info. But this is where the tech has to get really, really clever. See, just proving an ID document is real, that's only step one. The much harder problem is proving that the person creating content today is the exact same person who owns that ID. And this brings us to a whole new idea, content validity. Here it is, the core challenge. A person can pass an ID check one time on a Monday, but how does a platform have any idea if the person posting videos weeks later is still that same individual? The old systems just can't answer that, and that's a huge compliance loophole. The solution is this really smart watermarked process. So first, a creator does a quick 3D liveness check. It's kind of like a selfie that can see in 3D, proving you're a real live person in that exact moment. From that check, the system creates a private watermarked facial reference. This little reference, or key, gets sent securely to the platform's moderators. Now they have a way to do a quick sanity check to make sure the person in new content actually matches the verified ID. And this is basically what that secure key looks like. It's not just a photo, it's a secure little bundle of data. It confirms the verification, gives a time-stamped liveness reference, and even spits out a biometric match confidence score. This gives moderators something concrete and auditable they can use to validate content. Now, once you have this core technology, this verified digital identity, it becomes the foundation for so much more than a simple age gate. You can actually start to build an entire ecosystem of trust across all kinds of different online interactions. This verified identity becomes the building block for a whole range of other safety tools. It could power a secure single sign-on, for instance. On dating apps, you could use it to finally get rid of catfishing. For creators, it helps them make sure their audience is age-appropriate. It can even automate boring legal paperwork like model release forms because it links them directly to a verified person. The possibilities are just huge. So what we're really watching happen here is the creation of a brand new kind of digital handshake. It's a massive shift away from an internet that was mostly based on faith and toward one that's based on verifiable trust. And this gives us a new, really practical definition for digital trust. It's not just a warm, fuzzy feeling anymore. It's the actual, measurable confidence that an interaction is safe because you know the identity behind it is authentic. And it's all proven by tech that still respects your privacy. So the key takeaway here is this. Identity verification isn't some niche feature for banks anymore. It's quickly becoming the new baseline, the new standard for keeping businesses compliant, and probably more importantly, for keeping all of us a lot safer online. And that leaves us with a really fascinating and maybe a little bit of a challenging final thought. In a future where every creator and maybe every user on certain platforms is biometrically tied to a government ID, what does a word like anonymous even mean online anymore? What do we gain from all this safety, and what, if anything, might we lose? It's a question we're all going to be grappling with very, very soon.